Good afternoon, folks. This is PW Coach and Women in Science again. This week we are discussing the little situation between Ursula von der Leyen, Erdogan, and Charles Michel.
So there was a lot of indignation, I would say, a bit of negative responses in the, I suppose, Western press that seemed to focus very much on the faux pas or not that the Turkish president and his staff would have made with regards to the seating. What is your view?
Well, I believe this is a bit too much noise about nothing. This was too much fuss for honestly uh, nothing really to be offended with, and this is just protocol. I believe that Erdogan and his staff are well trained and they follow the protocol, and therefore the president of the council, that in such a framework should is the representative of the union, should be seated close to the president. So I don't see there any fault nor odd.
Indeed, it is. I suppose it's important to make a distinction between sort of a situation in a regular office where it would perhaps be rude or sexist to not invite a female representative in the same circle. But here it was really a matter of strict protocol.
Absolutely. And she was in the circle. It's just that she was not seated very close to the president, because it would have been, to the contrary, not following the rules and offending to the president of the European Council himself. Therefore, I think the sitting was made as such that everybody should feel comfortable. And let's not forget that there was as well quite some distanciation because of the COVID situation, and hence the sofa were really far. I'm sure that in a normal situation, in a non-COVID situation, they would have been maybe a more welcoming type of setting.
Could you maybe expand a little bit on the difference in hierarchy, if you'd like, between the president of the council and the president of the commission?
Well, I will just tell you that in this situation, um, and it's clearly stated in the text and in the treaties, that when meeting discuss are discussed outside of the European Union, and when it touch matters such as security and foreign common, the president of the European Council is heading the meeting. Therefore, there was no protocol mistake. Now, I believe that if we look at the reaction of Mrs. von der Leyen, she seemed very surprised and a little bit put in an uncomfortable situation. But I truly believe that maybe she was misinformed about the protocols and the rule that should apply. And I have to say, there is a little bit of a gray area here, and perhaps that's why she wasn't sure who should be the representative in such a meeting.
Right. And anything to say about the behavior or not of the Turkish part, so of President Erdogan and his staff?
Well, President Erdogan he was sitting there with full confidence. I mean, to be honest, he probably also we can see at some point that he's also a little bit wondering why is she that surprised herself to have to sit in the sofa, and then immediately he's very professional, so therefore he's trying to show no emotion at all and just continue as nothing was happening, because probably in his opinion he respected the rules and there was nothing here to worry about or to be surprised about.
So your conclusion is no sexism but professionalism.
Yes, yes. I mean, we have to be very careful here. We should not put sexism everywhere and anywhere, because it doesn't help us and it doesn't help people that really defend women's right and stand indeed for women's right and equality and gender equality. Therefore, we haven't seen, at least pedagogy coach and women in science, haven't seen any issues related to sexism there. This is just protocol and rules that have to be respected. And frankly, I was a little bit surprised by Mrs. Van der Leyen and whatever was her this wherever the surprise came from. Either she was not really well briefed before the meeting, or she wanted to make her point on something. But at the end of the day, I think it was not a real professional behavior, because she really brought a very odd situation for her collaborator, Mr. C.Michel, and also for her host. And I think that wasn't so nice. It could have put them all in a very uncomfortable situation.
Right. Thank you very much for sharing your view.
You're welcome, and see you next week for our next podcast.